This is the EGC 20K Age of Empires 4 tournament. The quarterfinals are on, the last 8 generals are battling it out. Let's rejoin the war! You've reached the third battle between our two generals today. My name's Anuki, and it's my job to introduce them. So, let it be known that in the west, commanding the legions of Rus, bathed in blue, it's Hera. Already gathering up gold and speeding towards that fast feudal age. Oops, hot dog fingers. In the east, a tale is told of a commander so bold. Doused in yellow, let's say hello to Recon! Now, first of all, do excuse me if I sound different. I moved into the basement. That's right, I'm moving down in the world. It's cold, dark, and extremely lonely. But I told them that I'm never gonna stop casting Age of Empires 4. They better just kill me now. And this is kind of interesting. We've arrived at a new staging location for this third round. It's King of the Hill, which I personally find is an odd name for a map. I propose to you that we rename this map. My proposition being, call it Hilltop or Mountain Tip. Anyway, suggestions in the comments. Before we take a look at the map, let's remind ourselves where we are in this war. Both our generals today are playing with civilizations that they have previously lost with. In the first battle, Hera's Rus was defeated by Recon's Mongols. In the second battle, it was a mirror matchup. Recon was defeated as France. That brings us up to the present, where Hera returns to Rus and Recon returns to France. Okay, so let's bring up the civilization overview and give an introductory brief. Don't worry, it won't take long. Hera's Rus is going to want to explore the map and collect the bounty points to increase their food gather rate, which they're close to getting tier 2 already. That's great speed velocity. But will Recon want to try and deny that? It doesn't seem like they're too interested. And it's one thing we know about France is they don't like to deviate from tradition. Having to try and stop Rus from getting bounty points? That's not the French way. We're gonna sit in our base and build up and get some knights out. And I'm doubtful that anyone really wants to change French tradition at this point. Let the Rus have their bounty. There's no way they'll match our knights in glorious combat. So I said we'd talk about the map more. There's little to say really. This isn't a well-played map, so little to have observed. Throughout the EGC though, thus far, we haven't seen generals get out or off of their second source of gold. So it's unlikely that this centralized resource will be fought over. But if anyone were to extend outward and claim some of the large gold mines, then chances are huge battles will be happening. Hera, I think, overdoing this on the stutter step. Ah, yes. You've heard of attack animation cancelling, but have you heard of cancel attack animation cancelling attack? Yeah? Hera one stutter step ahead of everyone else. And how much micro is too much micro anyway? That, I think, is one of the questions posed by the great philosopher Aristotle. People thought he was absolutely mad at the time, but clearly he was playing StarCraft before any of us plebs. The scoot is out in a boat. What a tiny source of wood Recon has. I just remembered right now something important. Wood is weird on this map. You do have to venture out a bit away from your base to get the large source of trees, which is absolutely terrifying if you rely on wood for your strategy. I don't know, for example, if you wanted spearmen to fight knights. So what's the likelihood that Hera will opt for knights of their own? The Rus do get knights in the feudal age, same cost, gold and food. They won't have access to the chivalry regeneration upgrade, but they don't cost wood, which will certainly be in slightly short supply this early on. If it's knights all round, then the probability of one or both generals raiding the gold supply is also on the table. Recon's got a lot of sheep, That's going to help with the night production. School cavalry almost complete, and a few villagers will cheer in excitement. It's a big day for France, as they can enact the next major step of their 2-point plan. Point 1, be able to build knights. I don't think I need to mention the next step. Hera has a couple of scouts out. They might be able to spot any knights advancing through these lands, but it shouldn't be too difficult to know where they will be going. Since Hera as Rus got to feudal age first, they will have a small amount of extra gold in their pockets from hunting, which means they'll be in a decent position to get units out earlier. Scout is in trouble as the outpost, fully operated, deals a lot of damage, and a knight will also chase them. Recon not going for a fast attack out the door. Instead, they will make themselves known with the Royal Knights and pull back. As they understand it, Hera is in an adequate position to defend. And we do have a Rus Knight out traversing some kind of battlefield between two rival deer gangs. And it appears as if Hera is looking to make the first strike upon a settlement. Now, the Royal Knight and the Rus Early Knight are pretty much the same. The differences, though, that exist come from elsewhere. Both take 35 seconds to train, but with the French School of Cavalry, training of units from the stables takes 20% less time. Hera coming for a rear attack, but Recon knows it. They're positioning their knight wisely to protect their wood. Other differences include, and in the not too distant future, the chivalry upgrade for Royal Knights. That means they will passively heal out of combat, whereas the Rus Knights don't have access to such an upgrade. So unless Hera can perform a decent blow early on, which they're going to use the scout to lure the knight away for their own knight to get a crack at the villagers, but there's two Royal Knights here to defend. Ooh, didn't count on that one. A builder will also get a slap to the back, then running through the eye of the unmanned outpost. They will get in eventually, but the armor will shrug those arrows off with ease. The scout dies in this little escapade, whereas Recon's workers were merely lightly wounded. What's going on over here? It's a cartoon chase of knights. Hera turns around one of the four knights. Good contact. Looks like we're in for a joust after all. Two knights draw, but there's no crowd to go wild. They would have loved that at the battle arena. That leaves a 3-on-2. Recon is on the run, but they'll be running into another friendly knight to join them. This is what's known in Monopoly as a stalemate. And it's going to take cunning and guile to sway this fight, like the scout trick, but with less failure. We should be seeing that chivalry upgrade before 10 minutes, and that will be a deadly turning point for Recon, as they can just lay glancing blows and pull away to recover. All the while, their opponent never recovers. They're like androids on horses, these Royal Knights. You can cut their arm off and the French Knight just says, "Je suis un android," and their arm grows back with the weapon that they were wielding. Nevertheless, Hera will attack, and they will give it 3/4 of their all as a single knight scoots around the side, but their scouting needs work because that was in complete view of that outpost. Gotta put more points in stealth, I think. A good defense is a strong attack. And I'm good with that sentiment. These villagers enjoying mining, that's what the upper class people tell themselves anyway. Oh, they love farming and getting covered in mud. They're peasants. If they didn't do that, they'd be running around doing skooma and playing with a stick and hoop, listening to musica antica on the lute. Hello, sheep. No, they need good, honest work. And as nobles, well, we have to make sure they don't fall off the path to depravity. And that plays a fundamental part of Hera's plan, because dead villagers don't put meat on the table, at least not in the way that you'd expect. Bigger strike coming out here for Hera, but the two knights will walk easily back into the safety of their town. It's a small town, it's a small region, but small is easier to defend. And really, what better unit to defend with than a knight? Strong, powerful, expensive. Recon also has a barracks and an archery range, which is absolutely incredible to see from France. And there's a spearman out here defending now, getting murdered. Recon getting a lot of arrow helpers. Pulls away. A spearman out for France. It's like the seventh wonder of the world. Make room, Pyramids of Giza and the Temple of Artemis. France, building spearmen coming through. Wow, would you look at that? Now, that's just inspiring, isn't it? Going to need a lot more spearmen, though, to be effective, and then also use their brace for impact to negate the charge damage. I'm excited to see an army comprised of more things, though, from France. If you think France is strong, wait until they start using their units appropriately. Hera swings around the back. But Recon seems to be on point when it comes to vision. Another individual spearman. Probably confused. Everyone else got a horse? Where's my horse? You can see Recon carefully pulling away knights to keep them alive. So they will heal up. Ready to fight in the battle. Another day. Hera is actually getting a bit too committed to this than I thought they would have wanted to. Sacrificing another knight to buy a few more seconds for this last one. And this is the deadly pivotal point we were talking about. Not a favorable fight for Hera, not at all. They will strike in the north, but the cheap spearmen are here to defend. I have to offer a huge amount of praise to Recon now, because here's the thing. They can use spearmen as a deterrent, but also as a buffer. They'll buy time for your other units to come and defend. And the more mobile your other units are, in this case knights, the better, since they'll have a lower response time to threats if they're on the other side of town. And I've talked a lot about this in some of the previous games during the EGC, and this is a bit of a demo of those talks in action. It might not seem like much, but for me it's a minor example, and that's pleasant to see. Hera's knights are wounded going into their 6 guards of the mines. Brace for impact, absolutely skewered. I enjoyed that sound all too much. 2 knights for a spearman. It's a great trade for Recon. Also worth mentioning that Recon has a healthy amount of farms. They've invested what little wood they have to ensure they only need food and gold for the near foreseeable future. Knights for Recon, getting a small attack of their own against the hunting cabin, claim a villager. Will they be able to get another? It looks like a triple charge. One of the charges failed, but they'll redeem themselves. Oh, 2 villagers. That's more than I thought they would get, and another attack from Hera. This is wild. This is reckless. This is the action of a commander who is very angry, and they've embraced the rage. I've had it with these French. It's blood, it's slaughter. Hera rides out of the camp with significantly less people than what rode in. Between the spearmen and the arrows from the town center and the outpost, I think they took more than they lost. That's what's going on for Recon's defense, but they're also mounting a small offense. A crack squad of Royal Knights gain control over the 2nd gold mine, heading in the direction of the 1st mine Hera owns. They're just gonna stand there menacingly. Hera's other knights still fleeing from the previous battle. Is there anyone that can be rallied to? Any friendly Rus soldiers? I mean, there's a hidden mining operation down here, but I don't think that's helpful. Hera has over 1,200 gold. If only they could hire some mercenaries. They will assemble a few knights to scatter all around the land. It is such an insane amount of gold that Hera is grabbing. Even the villagers are going to chip in. But they won't see a penny, not a coin, for their troubles. Hera's defense, much stronger than Recon anticipated. Surrounded and finished off. Amazing that so many villagers get to live here. Where do we go from here? And this has taken a surprising turn. Hera's spread out their resource collection, which means when 1 or even 2 or even 3 get shut down, there's still 1 more going. With this much gold, the Golden Gate is likely seeing use to trade resources. They'll probably also want to get an actual marketplace to make more frequent trades. Yeah, speak of the Roost Devil, right on time. There are, interestingly, no neutral marketplaces on King of the Hill. I did neglect to mention that. So only buying and selling. Buy high, sell low. That's what Grandma used to say. And she left us nothing. We had to earn everything ourselves. And I don't think Hera is in a comfortable position to just buy some food and go to the castle age. If Recon attacks again, which is pretty much guaranteed, the possibility to inflict catastrophic damage is there, especially if they find some of these sneaky miners. As for Recon, single knight harassers are still on the table. Hera won't devote more than they need to fight that. Also a wooden fortress for some miners. Lucky them. With how much wood there is to the north and south, it might be a consideration for future Roost players watching to hide hunting cabins close to the trees for some bonus gold per minute. Recon has outstanding income stability, already formulating the next army to throw away with more spearmen this time. And they even got to taste the delights of the remains of the Deer War earlier. Here we go. Recon does have more soldiers en route. The villagers denied a house overlooking the beautiful sacred site. Recon able to clean this one up quite nicely. Pushing Hera back to their wooden fortress. Will this be able to help defend those knights? The spearmen stand no chance if the arrows rain down upon them. Many other villagers are left exposed. They'll instead opt to fight to their last breath. The brave and valiant Rus villagers who have already experienced combat, they'll yet again prove effective. Victory is known to them. But that might be short-lived as reinforcements have arrived under the command of Recon to conquer Hera. Recon keeps bringing in reinforcements at this pace. Hera is going to start losing land. The tower, not finished. They won't be able to get that up with the knights pressing down hard on them. More villagers will try and fight this one out. It's a last stand, but more reinforcements are on their way from Recon. The damage has been done. The economy will have been ransacked. There it is. The white flag is raised. Rus has been defeated. Congratulations to Recon, who claims a second victory. One more, and they walk out this door to the semi-finals. Join me for match 4 and come along to the Ironcast Discord, where we can talk and play and learn and lurk. That's it from our sponsored messages. My name's Anuki. Let's watch another one.